I'm not sure if he knows about all these other bases, though. The 6 o'clock and the 8 o'clock just came up for Pure, so even if he loses one base, I think he's going to be okay. So Fantasy is going to have to start thinking ahead, thinking into the future, because he just lost his 12 o'clock base. That's one of his only mining bases at this point. He doesn't have his 4th base up anywhere. He built it. I see him floating it right there. He's going to float it over to the 9 o'clock, but he doesn't have that yet, and he still hasn't taken down everything at the 2 o'clock. So Fantasy's got to focus now. He's got to focus on taking out bases and making this game count for himself, making these attacks count. Coming up, forcing all of these units into kind of a choke area. He could drag a lot of mines into these Dragoons. Yep, dragging lots of mines into them, forcing Pure back up to the 12 o'clock position. That was smart play from Fantasy, but still he's not mining enough. Not mining enough right now to keep up with Pure. Because look at all the expansion from Pure. He had that 8 o'clock base up and running now. He's probably going to take the 2 o'clock again if he can get rid of any troops that are remaining up there, taking out the harassment of the 6 o'clock. So Fantasy is trying to multitask. He's trying to multitask and take out all these extra bases that are coming up. He knows about them at least. Oh, there's some nice mine dragging there into all the remaining Dragoons. But the problem for Fantasy is, even if he takes these out, he's going to be dealing with so many gateways. The gateways that Pure can support right now is probably ridiculous. He probably has a ton of gateways inside of his main. So Fantasy going to have to make mines count for him. Mines are going to be his way back into this game. High Templar out for Pure now. And he's preparing. Look at all these freaking gateways for him up. So he's going to prepare for another pincer attack or maybe another recall. So Fantasy, look at this, laying mines everywhere. There's no way that Pure's going to be able to push up that ramp, at least not with a lot of mine clearing first, which will give Fantasy some time to run over there with troops. Another recall. I think it's going to be right on top of that 9 o'clock base since it just came up. Oh, but that would be a very bad place to recall. Look at all the mines. Is Pure going to do it? Is Pure going to recall here? Yes, he does, and falls into a huge mine trap, but he saved more units than I thought he would there. I thought he would lose everything in that attack. But now Fantasy moving up with his entire troop. That was a beautiful little mine trap. Oh, look at that storm over everything. Oh, wow, storming over all of the SCVs that were trying to go back to mine. So that was devastating for Fantasy. He cannot afford to lose that many troops at this point in the game. He is on the back foot, and he has to make every unit count. And now he's just being shredded in the middle, not even paying attention to these vultures, losing every vulture. So his supply is being drilled. He doesn't have enough gas to really support a lot of tanks. So his tank count is probably not going to be high from this point in the game until he establishes another gas. But look at all these idle SCVs out there, just playing poker, sitting around. Well, boys, not looking good. Not even mining from that new base either. Look at all these idle SCVs. One SCV mining. Fantasy has one SCV getting him mineral intake. I guess you could call that a hero SCV. One SCV army of economy. Now Pure going back up to the 2 o'clock, wandering up there with a probe. Yeah, I want to take another base. That probe's going to die. But Fantasy, he's running out of troops. He's running out of everything. Fantasy is slowly losing this game, and Pure is just going to be able to starve him out. Taking that 8 o'clock base was very smart of him. Fantasy, he's put down so many turrets, anticipating another recall, being so paranoid. Like, oh, he's going to recall me. I have nothing to defend. Gonna put up turrets everywhere. But Pure has so many troops out on the map now. Look at this, ridiculous from him. It looks like he's halted production from at least one of his Stargates, but that's not a big deal. He halted that so he could get up more Nexuses at the 2 o'clock position, and now he's taken 3/4 of the map. Fantasy coming down with a very large tank army, but with High Templar out here, Pure's storms so far in this tiebreaker have been so good that I think he'll be able to take care of these with storms, as long as he can get the High Templar within range somehow. But Fantasy working his way down. He's going to try to take out that 8 o'clock position and hit Pure where it hurts. He's got to do it quickly. He's running out of time. He finally established his 9 o'clock base, but here comes the recall. No mines in at all. No mines, but Pure is still scared of mines. Oh, recalls everything in there anyway. He's going to be able to take out all the supply depots from Fantasy, and I think that might be able to clinch the game for Pure as long as Fantasy doesn't run back with enough troops. I don't see how Fantasy could have troops to spare at this point. His entire army is down at this 8 o'clock position now, so he's going to lose every single one of his supply depots. just hanging back here with his vultures, hoping that Pure loses his focus and runs into the mines. But Pure is still doing pretty good. He's taking bases at the 2 o'clock. So every base that Fantasy takes down, he's going to have a base coming up at the same time. Oh, supply depot storms from Pure over the tanks. So it looks like Fantasy's confidence that he could defend against us with his reinforcements is not working out for him. Looks like he's falling back with his entire troop, basically, keeping a few tanks there to take out that 8 o'clock. But little does he know, even more bases are coming up for Pure. Getting a nice harassment of that 6 o'clock base now. But still, he just hasn't had the unit count. He hasn't... Oh, defensive recall. Defensive recall in for Pure just to save that Nexus. I think he lost it anyway, but he put it down again. Oh, bad day to be a supply depot. The supply depot is very sadly spinning on the top, the fan on top. So, okay, Fantasy is going to clean this up just because he's brought his entire troop back here. But that's exactly what Pure wants. He locked the entire troop into the main now. Fantasy lost every supply depot. Not looking good for Fantasy. And Pure, I think Pure is going to be able to do this as long as he can deal with the amount of tanks. Fantasy still has a very sizable amount of tanks. But Pure, it looks like he's just not even worrying about that main army. He's coming in right now. EMP, not sure if it caught that Arbiter or not. Might have caught that Arbiter. Not exactly sure, but the EMP was in there anyway. 2 stasis of the science vessels. So, okay, a very large army coming up for Pure right now. Huge army, just pushing through everything. This is going to be it. Stasis from Pure. I think he has plenty of energy to get the stasis down to here. All drop. That's just showing off. That's just showing off. Getting the dropship down there. Storm over all these troops. He's going to probably surround those tanks. Nope, he's just going for the game ender. Game-ending push. Pushing through the natural expansion into Fantasy's base, while he has Zealots harassing the 9 o'clock expansion at the same time. That's pretty much Fantasy's only mining base at this point. He might be mining a little bit as natural, but that's it. GG. Pure moves into the round of 8 after a grueling tiebreaker. After that first game, I thought Pure was doomed, but he really picked himself back up. That was some great play in the last 3 games. Awesome. So I think he's definitely a worthy player to move into this round of 8. And I'll try to move on to the next tiebreaker whenever I can. Don't expect... actually, expect goofiness. It's going to be goofy if I manage to get the videos for it. Wow. So, this has been Nuke for the Group C tiebreaker. Expect the other tiebreaker? Maybe. And the preview video soon for the round of 8. See you guys soon.